Hi everybody, it's Nettie Kaye back at the studio. I'm just wondering if you've had any problems keeping your still life objects centered or even. You know, have you ever painted something and had it kind of go, you know, like this, where one side is fatter than the other and you can't figure it out, kind of like when you cut your bangs when you were 12 years old and then one side was shorter than the other and you keep trimming them off and it just never comes out even. Well, I think I've got a solution here. I can take, this is a painting we did about a year ago, and it's of a wine bottle, and so I'm going to pretend that's a real wine bottle, and I'm going to measure it from top to bottom, right down the middle of it, and I see it's roughly about 11 inches. Now I can take a regular bottle and sort of do the same thing and measure how tall the bottle is right from the middle. This is not a regular bottle, it's just a different bottle if I want to, a real bottle. And so on the side of this, I'm going to make a little example of that. I'm going to take what's the middle of the bottle and I'm going to place it next to this one. And we'll make a mark about, in paint, you can use charcoal if you like. And this, I'm going to do it in blue this time so that we can see it a little bit. And I'm going to go down to about 11.5 inches. And that's in the middle. And the one thing I want to make sure that is that when I go to do this bottle, I don't make a straight line across the bottom. It's actually going to have a bit of a smile, or as some of the kids call it, a jump rope. Okay, so now I know that about 4 inches down from here is where the shoulders start to come out a little ways. And I see that it's about 3 inches wide at the shoulder, which means if I cut it in half, it's going to be 1.5 inches on each side of my middle line. So I'm going to put my line right at 1.5 inches, make sure that it's nice and straight, and then I will make a mark right here at the 0 and at the 3. And so now I have 3 inches right here. Now at the bottom of the bottle I have it at 3.5 inches, and so I'm going to go slightly up from the line because I don't want the line to be flat. And I'm going to put a 1 3/4, so it fans out just a little bit. And I'm going to use that in kind of a lighter color so you can see it. See, I got to make sure I do it. 1 3/4 and 3.5. Ooh, see, even with that, math is a little bit tough for us sometimes. Okay, but this is a cool part. You just take the mark right off. Okay, then I'd also like to make sure I got the neck right. So the neck on this one is, at its skinniest part, is 1 inch. So I'll put this at 1/2 inch. Make a mark right there, make a mark at the 1 inch line, and now I have a really good guideline. And you can make more lines if you want. If you want to make your lines, you can connect the dots. You can do this if you want, you know, just kind of go like that. If you want to make your bottle more straight, that's fine. And then you can do the same thing right here where you just kind of come out like that. And you'll get your bottle in a proper kind of balance. So I'm going to go down here and then I will go under and make my little jump rope smile to where it's not lopsided. It heads for the center line and then starts turning back up over here. Alright, so you want to make sure these lines end up in the same spot right there. Okay, now all I have to do, and I can keep making marks all the way up if I want, but I'll just do it kind of freehand right there. And I'll give it a little bit of an angular look right now, but and then we'll just go straight up right there. Okay, straight up for our bottle, and then I'll make a little round ellipse there, and I'll just kind of curve it very, very, very shallowly. Okay, make sure you don't make a big circle right there. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to take some of my little marks off. Now the next thing I'm going to do really fast is I'm going to take some of our blue. I think this is Prussian blue. I'm not really sure what color I grabbed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Prussian blue. Really pretty. Ooh, got an itchy nose. Okay, and now I'm going to take my brush and just kind of fill that in a little bit. I'll put my edge right there and just wipe that midline out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to wipe the midline out and fill in the jar, fill in the bottle just like that, so that you can see that that is nice and even on both sides. I don't want it to look really mechanical, but it helps me to get at least the placement of where the bottle goes before I move on to anything else. Okay. And that's how I get the placement of the bottle just right. I know so many of you guys have had difficulties with the ellipses, and we had another little shorty on ellipses not too long ago. But I've discovered a new way for you to be able to see them and to work them. So we're going to go back to our bottle, and I'm going to remind you that we have a 3.5 inch bottom to the horizontal measurement from side to side on our bottle. I got a bunch of these, kids' craft sheets, and they are made out of foam, and you can cut them very easily. Very easy to find in a craft store. And I measured out 3.5 inches wide, and I cut out a little rectangle. All right. Now I'm going to figure out how high my ellipse is, and so maybe it's 1.5 inches. And I know that it's in the middle of that. I'm going to, if I had left that line there, I know exactly where the middle of that is, and I'm going to mark it like this, maybe all the way down. And then I'm going to cut that again with my scissors. And so I have it in half, and I'm going to cut around the edges like this in a curve. And here's a curve on this side. Let's see if I can get this right. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to fold it the other way. And then I'll go around and make sure the edges around the outside are round. So I have right here, I have an ellipse. Now you can see I put a cross down the middle so I know where that ellipse goes, and then a cross down this side, and so I know where it lands on the jar. Alright, so I can have a set of these. I have several sets in different sizes for the kids in the class so that they can actually take it out and go, oh, that's what an ellipse looks like. It's not a circle. It's something else. It's a flat thing. It's a flat circle in perspective. All right, that's different than just a basic oval. We'll have another lesson on that someday once I figure it all out. Okay, so I'm going to hold that upright like this onto my jar. And now I'm going to get a little bit of my medium. Now remember, the ellipses are going to be different depending on what your perspective is. If you are above the vase or above the bottle, it's going to be different than if you are at eye level. And so this, you see how this one is really more at eye level than what I've got my ellipse to be right here. But I'll just show you what this looks like. So I trace it around a little bit like that, and I have a wonderful even elliptical type shape right there. It's really kind of more from a little bit above. So if I wanted a little bit shorter, then I would do the same thing with my little paper or my little sponge or foam, and I would shorten it down. But it gives me some place to start so that I can correct it little by little. And I just swing from my shoulder and practice. Now some of you, it looks like they're not teaching cursive writing in school right now. So, but when you did learn cursive writing, you learned by practicing those little swings over and over and over. And I would recommend that. Now I'll take a little bit of a cloth now that I've made that adjustment, and I'll just erase that out a little bit, just like that. And there we have the basis for our bottle. I can use the same one virtually, okay, and get an idea up here. This one is still too fat this way, so I'm going to just eyeball it this time. At least I can see what it's supposed to look like. And I might say, okay, well, if I put some water in this jar, that makes more sense. I'm not going to put it right on the horizon line because that doesn't look right. But I'm going to go like this and swing my arm. I'm not moving my wrist, everybody. I'm just moving my shoulder. I'm holding that paintbrush just right, and I'm just moving it. If you can't see it, I'll shift a little bit. And I just swing it like that, and I make that second ellipse up at the top of that bottle, and there it is. And then I can continue and make that bottle a little bit, I just finesse the bottle. But that's how you get the shape and the ellipses within it. Where's the other one? Oh, yeah, we've already done that one. Up here at the top. And I'm going to have that similar swing going around. And then I have to think about other things like, okay, where am I going to put the highlight? Well, where it sticks out in line with the light right there. There's a little highlight. And I'll put it in a little bit brighter, you know. And of course we get all crazy as we begin to do those glass things. And just for a little extra. All right, highlight hits right here, the light goes through, and it comes out there, okay? Comes out inside the jar, like that. And then you have all sorts of fun looking at glass. Just make sure you look at it, all right? Don't just make stuff up. Make sure you look at things very carefully, and you can paint just about anything, all right? So, if you like what you see, and you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Share with your friends, and I will see you again next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.